All right. Greetings and peace, everyone. Welcome to the C.R.S.A YouTube channel, Committed Relationships and Spiritual Activity. I am your host, Brother Neo, and I'm here to share some info with the people. Right now, right here, I want to be as genuine, real, straight to the point as much as possible. This video right here is inspired from the past few weeks of me watching YouTube and a lot of this garbage that's going on that has been keeping men and women in arguments for a long time. This is ridiculous, and I'm going to do another single mother video, and this also comes from me being brought up by a pack of, with a packed, hold on, I said this earlier. I have been brought up with a pack of women, single mother and 3 sisters. And I'm telling you, I was the only boy, and I know how it feels to be around a bunch of women. And one of my cousins told me that he's surprised that I did not come out gay. And I was like, yeah, I'm very surprised at that too. And that's because I made it my decision to do my personal development work and to get out on my own and to spend alone time as much as possible. And I realized that the more alone time I had away from people in general, but especially away from my mother and my sisters, the more masculine I became. And that's with personal development and developing my own energy, coming within, connecting with my oneness. But anyways, I've noticed that throughout these past few weeks that there is tons of videos that has been bashing single mothers. So me being brought up by a single mother and also being in a lot of past experiences with single mothers, dating, and also situationships, and also me having a love for women in general, I started to think like, wait a minute, and then my higher consciousness came into play, and I started to think like, wait a minute, this is a hidden agenda that our society actually wants. It wants to keep men and women separate from each other. And this is my analysis that I got from watching a video earlier, and I sat down at the end of it. I stopped it at the end of it, and I listened to my higher intuition, and I wanted to analyze what's really going on and bring it to my consciousness. And I said, okay, first, the agenda was to get women to be single mothers. That has been going on for so many years, including programming the man to be more female than a masculine male, to be weak, following the woman, and then also play on his sexual nature to get him to go more than likely to cheat, be involved with infidelity. Then they break up the family. If it's not that is going to break up the family, they always have one or more mental programs to break up the family in general, and then leaving the woman to be a single mother first and foremost. So now the next agenda, the current one, is to get the single mothers to be completely mentally, emotionally, spiritually lost all by herself, struggling, and also to continue to go with the propaganda to get young teenage females to be single mothers. I have to say this, it is absolutely terrible for a young teenage girl to be a single mother. Absolutely terrible. If you are a teenager right now, a young teenager in general, but especially a young female teenager, I have to tell you, do not allow yourself to be a single mother. I'm going to say avoid allowing yourself to be a single mother. Allowing yourself to grow is the most important. Focus on your graduating from high school, whatever situation you're in currently, because right now I know that we are in a pandemic. We got that situation going on. Let me see here. And however just your situation is, you have to focus on personal development. You have to grow into a mature adult psychologically. Whenever a teenager, young teenager in general, but especially a young female, has a child very, very young, it stunts their growth. And as far as the natural process of things, because you're supposed to have a very, very peaceful, nurturing childhood so that you can gradually grow into adulthood. Whenever you have that child, it forces you to be an adult, and you have to start thinking like an adult, where it's just like you jump right into adulthood. And I know by personal experience, as far as my sisters, all of my sisters are single mothers, including my mother is a single mother. And all of them, I think, had children during their teenage years, except my oldest sister. I seen the formula. Once I seen it in my older two sisters, and I seen it in some of my other family members. Then I looked at my sister, my youngest sister, and I said, okay, look, now she's in high school. She's doing good. She's an A+ student. As soon as she gets a boyfriend, I guarantee you she's going to be a single mother. Guess what? Years later, no, it was like a year or two later after that, while she was in high school, it turns out she was a single mother, either in high school or after high school. But she had the baby when she was very young, and she was another situation where she chose the wrong guy to open her legs to and have a child with, thinking that it's love. And another one that suffered from not having a father figure there. I'm telling you, having mature, nurturing parents plays a very, very positive role in a child's life. And I'm not just going to say one or the other. Having both plays a major, important role in a child's growth. Both being mature, nurturing, and also as spiritually conscious as possible. However, here in America in particular, there's so many propagandas that make it very, very difficult for people to reach that level of high level of maturity, or at least an adequate level of maturity, psychological maturity, and an adequate level of spiritual consciousness, so that they can be able to grow themselves as individuals first and foremost, but then as a couple, because you as an individual must do your own personal development work so that you can grow first and foremost, especially if you are a male, because we are supposed to be the leaders. Now I have done my personal development work that allows me to be a leader and understand what is a leader, and I'm still growing psychologically on that aspect also. But then as a man, you can also help guide the women who is in your family, or who you are dating, who you're married to, or whatever. But it also is the responsibility of women to do their own personal development to help them grow into mature adulthood. But guess what? We have so many propagandas that causes people to have their maturity suppressed and or delayed. That's why some people they mature way, way later on in life, and some people, they really never psychologically grow. So with all of that dysfunctional family, how can a person actually grow? It's very, very difficult. And some people do not come to an awakening like I did. I came into an awakening early, like 13 years of age. And I analyzed, and it was told spiritually to not have children, at least not have it early on, and to study my family and to learn from their mistakes. And that is exactly what I have been doing for many, many years after the age of 13. I'm telling you that 13 is a major magical number for me, and that's why you will see me wearing it every single whenever I can. But anyways, so now we're going to go ahead and talk about the single mother thing. Is I want to say that it's not the end of the world, well, yeah, both the end of the world for you, and it's not the end of the road for you, because there is, like I said, the propagandas to help keep you women lost. And it's sad now that I have a much more understanding of life and I reached a high level of maturity. I can see that, not, like I said in one of my previous videos, not all single mothers are bad, and a lot of them are just psychologically, emotionally, and spiritually lost, and they actually can benefit and will benefit from having some form of guidance in their life, at least until they develop their own internal spiritual guidance, because all of us have an internal spiritual guidance that is included with your intuition. Your intuition is your guidance, and women are supposed to naturally be able to perceive their intuition. That's the reason why we got our society telling us, using the term women's intuition, as if women are the only one who has intuition. And I realize not only women have intuition, we have intuition too. As men, going through my personal development journey and studying and learning about psychic senses and psychic abilities, now I know how to recognize and follow my own intuition. So what I suggest to single mothers is, first and foremost, you have to be concerned about your own personal development. Your personal development right now is essential, especially the more children you have, the more you need to focus on your personal development, because for yourself, first and foremost, so that you can be your own leader for yourself and also your children, until you find a very mature man who understands himself, who has grown greatly within himself, who is mature, he's wise about life, he truly understands life very well. And especially if he has a fair amount of spiritual consciousness that can also help you grow spiritually. Here in America, I'm going to say good luck with that because I can see now there's very, very small group of guys that are like that, who are not looking for just sex. Here in America, as you know, is a highly sexualized culture, and it's very, very sad that very, very few people have arisen above the sexual nature, and our sexual culture plays on our sexual nature, deep sexual natures, that makes it difficult for people to focus on stuff beyond sex. So when man and a woman gets together, it's hard for them to not think about anything beyond that. That's the reason why some of you women, it's difficult for you to find guys that want more than just that from you. And then you also got these YouTubers that's always talking about, no, you just call her when you want the booty. And it's just keep on encouraging that over and over again, even here on YouTube, these so-called alpha male stuff and these alpha male things. I'm going to go ahead and do a psychological trap video explaining that this alpha male stuff is also a psychological trap. The alpha male and the red pill community and the manosphere community stuff is a psychological trap, a propaganda agenda that is part of the agenda to keep men and women separate. So, let me see here. So like I said, starting more on your personal development, you got to spend more time by yourself as much as possible to get connected with your internal spirituality. So, and you got to cut out all of the toxic people and toxic things that are currently in your life that has not allowed you to reach a adequate level of maturity, psychological maturity, and also spiritual maturity. Because it's the TV, like I say in so many of my other videos, the TV is the highest, most strongest propaganda tool that keeps people psychologically immature from reaching a high level of maturity into an adulthood. So you got to decrease your TV viewing, if not completely cut it out of your habits, because it is trouble. Same thing with your Netflix. You got to pay very close attention to what type of Netflix things you watch. Same thing with YouTube. If it's a whole bunch of gibberish gibberish, it's a bunch of drama and it has nothing to do with positive psychological and spiritual growth, then it's a good chance that it's just garbage and propaganda information. And I gotta say that I absolutely did not want this video to go this long. Hopefully I can edit some stuff out, but I'm just speaking from the top of speaking from my heart, off the top, just straight up freestyling, trying to figure out all of the things that I can communicate to the single mothers, or soon to be single mothers. Well, yeah, pregnant, and also the ones that already have the children, and that it's not the end of the road. You have to just focus more on yourself and psychological, emotional, and spiritual growth, and also let go of pursuing these no good men who are only seeking you for sex. You right now need to be focusing more on your own personal development and not sex. A lot less about sex. I do understand how difficult it is to fight that urge. I finally got over that urge and have risen above it and understood that it is a deep, natural aspect of ourselves as humans. But at the same time, we are supposed to be in control of this nature and not allowing it to control us. The moment we allow our sexual nature to control us, that is when we get in trouble. And I've noticed that that's the reason why I've been choosing so many of the different bad, no good women in my past, is because I was thinking from my sexual nature state of being. Now I know how to get out of it, and now I know what it feels like to be in my higher spiritual conscious state of being, maturity, and be able to choose the right women and to perceive the right women. And now looking back on my past, there were so many different women that actually were the good ones for me, and even beautiful ones. They wasn't just the good value ones who didn't look good, but no, some gorgeous ones that really, really wanted to be with me. But I wasn't looking at them on that higher mature, from the higher mature perspective that I look at women now, and perceive them as actually relationship material more than just sexual material. Because like I said, our society here in America is a sex-crazed society, and I was programmed for the high level of sexuality to just be pursuing women just for that. But now I know that women have a lot more to offer that, but they also have to focus on the personal development work to be able to be perceived as more than just sexual material. Because if all you do is just, as a woman, just sit around watching these stupid music videos with women shaking their booty and shaking their breast, watching these movies that just always talking about cheating and drama and all this crap, and you're not actually developing yourself psychologically, emotionally, physically, and spiritually, then you're less likely going to be perceived by a very good value man as relationship material, where a guy really wants to be with you in a serious relationship and actually take you seriously. That's why I created the video thought culture video, explaining to women that it's not good to have multiple sex partners over and over and over again, because it actually decreases your overall spirituality and your psyche to a very, very low level, to where it'll be very difficult for you to appropriately, spiritually and mentally and emotionally connect with your mate that in the future that you want, your good value mate, and really appreciate sex with him, rather than it just being your one of your routine sex experiences. So you got to really, really think about that. And I suggest a period of celibacy. I'm telling you, celibacy is very, very good for various reasons. But for right now, we're talking about personal development. And this is for women in general, but in particular, single mothers, because that's the title. That right now, part of your personal development, I suggest celibacy for right now, so that you can focus more on yourself, and then also hopefully you'll come into a realization psychologically about all of the bad, stupid, no good guys you've been with and that you have been pursuing and still are probably pursuing and thinking about, regardless if he wants you just for sex. As of right now, as a single mother, you do not need to be highly concerned about sex. But it's like, keep a fair balance of it, because I don't want to say take sex completely. It's a fair balance, because for right now, a lot of you need to just cut the sex out, because you've been worried way too much about it and had too much about it. Your body needs to relax. And going on a celibacy, it cuts out the habit of focusing on sex, and you can think on a higher level. I'm telling you, it works. I've been doing it for a while now for myself with the celibacy, because I'm highly focused on my own personal development, and I see my personal growth right now, and to the point where now I rarely even think about sex. I really don't. And now I can actually have a conversation with the woman that is of a higher nature, a conversation that's of a higher nature, and we don't have to talk about sex unless the situation calls for it for whatever reason. Sometimes it does, but it's like an obsession. I don't have that obsession to talk about it. So right now I'm going to go ahead and close this out. Maybe I'll do another part 2 or something like that if necessary. Go ahead, click that thumbs up like button to this video, and definitely subscribe here, because you're going to learn a lot about relationships and relationship information that is outside of societal programming, and from somebody that actually did the personal development work and is still doing the personal development work to raise to a higher level psychologically, emotionally, and spiritually. And my contact information will be in the description, and also probably somewhere in this video during editing by the time you see it. Thank you very much, and until next time.